Hello and welcome. Today, we are going to go on an incredible adventure. It's a journey that's about 9 meters long, and it's all happening right inside you. We're talking about the digestive system. So, let's dive in. So, think about that delicious meal you just finished. Where does it actually go? I mean, what happens to it? It doesn't just disappear, right? Of course not. It actually kicks off this amazing and surprisingly complicated process inside your body. So, what even is digestion? Well, you can think of it like this. Your body takes something complex, say a piece of roti, and breaks it all the way down into something super simple, like glucose. And that glucose, that's the actual fuel your cells need to work. Your body can't just use a whole piece of bread. It has to be taken apart first. Okay, so every great journey has a starting line. For our food, that journey begins the moment you take that first bite. Let's take a look at what happens in the mouth and then in the food pipe, also called the esophagus. The second that food enters your mouth, two really important things happen pretty much instantly. First, you've got mechanical digestion. That's your teeth cutting, tearing, and grinding everything up. But at the exact same time, chemical digestion starts. Your saliva has this enzyme called salivary amylase, and it immediately starts breaking down starches. You can actually test this. Seriously, try it. If you chew a piece of plain roti or bread for a minute or so, it will start to taste sweet. That's the starch literally turning into sugar right there in your mouth. All of this chewed up, mixed up food is then rolled into a soft little ball called a bolus, ready to move on. So how does that bolus get to your stomach? You might think it's just gravity doing the work, but it's not. In fact, you could be hanging upside down and the food would still get to your stomach. How cool is that? It's thanks to this powerful muscular wave called peristalsis. The best way to picture it is to think about squeezing a tube of toothpaste from the bottom up. The muscles in your esophagus contract in a wave, pushing the food right along.
Okay, after that quick trip down the esophagus, our food arrives at a place of, well, dramatic transformation, the stomach. And this is not just some holding tank, it's a powerful chemical cauldron. Inside the stomach, the food just gets completely transformed. For about 3 to 4 hours, the stomach's super strong muscles churn and mix everything around, kind of like a biological cement mixer. This whole process mixes the food with something called gastric juice, breaking it all down into this thick, semi-solid paste we call chyme. So, what's in this gastric juice? Let's break it down. First, you have hydrochloric acid, or HCl. This stuff is incredibly strong. It's strong enough to kill most of the nasty bacteria that might have come in with your food. Then there's pepsin, an enzyme that gets to work breaking down proteins. And finally, there's mucus, which, as we're about to see, plays an absolutely vital protective role. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Hold on. Powerful acid inside me? Won't that burn a hole right through my stomach? It's a totally fair question. And here is the body's brilliant answer. Nope, it won't. Your stomach has this built-in defense system, a thick, slimy layer of mucus that is constantly coating the stomach lining. It protects it from its own powerful acid. Pretty clever, huh? After the stomach, our chyme moves into what I like to call the grand central station of the digestive system, the small intestine. And this is where the really important work of digestion and absorption happens. This is the main event. And get this, it's about 7.5 meters long. Can you believe that? That's incredibly long, all coiled up inside you. So why does it need to be so long? Well, it's a fantastic design to maximize both the time and the surface area for absorbing every last bit of nutrition from your food. Now, here's the first challenge the body has to solve. The chyme coming from the stomach is super acidic, but the enzymes in the small intestine, they need an alkaline environment to do their job. So, how does the body fix this? It adds bile, which is made in the liver. Bile neutralizes the acid, making the environment just right so the real work can finally begin. Bile also has another superstar function, emulsification. Think about it this way. Large blobs of fat are really hard for enzymes to attack. So bile works just like dish soap on a greasy plate. It breaks up those big fat globules into thousands of tiny little droplets. This hugely increases the surface area, making it way easier for the enzymes to get in there and do their thing. Now listen carefully because this part is crucial. The pancreas sends a whole team of powerful enzymes into the small intestine. You've got trypsin, which finishes digesting proteins into amino acids. Pancreatic amylase takes care of any leftover starches, turning them into sugars. And lipase gets to work on those tiny fat droplets, breaking them down into fatty acids and glycerol.
This table is a perfect summary of these power players. So all our food is now broken down into its simplest forms: glucose, amino acids, fatty acids. The final goal is to get all these nutrients into our bloodstream. But how does the body do this so efficiently? The secret is a structure called villi. You see, the inner wall of the small intestine isn't smooth at all. It's covered in millions and millions of these tiny finger-like projections called villi. Think about it like this. A flat, smooth wall has a certain amount of surface area, but a wall covered in millions of tiny fingers, that has a massively larger surface area. That's what the villi do. This incredible design maximizes the area for absorbing all those nutrients so they can pass into the blood vessels and get delivered to the rest of your body. After all that action in the small intestine, what's left of our food moves on to the final stop on this journey, the large intestine. Its job is less about digestion and more about final processing and cleanup. By this point, all the useful stuff is gone. What's left is mostly water and things we can't digest. So the large intestine's main job is to absorb most of that extra water. This process turns the liquid waste into a solid form, called feces, which is then stored in the rectum before, it's removed from the body. Whew, we have covered a lot of ground on this 9-meter trip. So to make sure it all sticks, let's do a quick high-level recap of the entire process from start to finish. Let's trace that path one last time. It all starts in the mouth for just a few seconds of chewing and initial starch digestion. Then it spends 3 to 4 hours in the stomach, getting churned up and starting protein digestion. The next 4 to 5 hours are the main event in the small intestine: final digestion and nutrient absorption. Finally, the leftovers spend anywhere from 12 to 48 hours in the large intestine for water absorption and waste formation. So, here's a final challenge for you. Now that you've seen the whole trip, can you trace that in your mind? From that first bite all the way to the very end. Can you name the key event that happens at each and every stop? Going back over the process like that is the absolute best way to make sure you've truly mastered this incredible 9-meter journey.